this whole budget cap thing, this is what Joe Biden did back in 2011, undercutting Harry Reid, and supposedly had learned the lessons of that era. Apparently not. This whole game where he played like, we need a clean debt ceiling. But of course, at the same time, just coincidentally, we'll also talk about cuts. It is just the greatest amount of political malfeasance that one could imagine. I suppose it's possible that Joe Biden personally enjoys the idea of low-income people having some pain or disarray in the government. That seems odd. But I think also there's just a complete lack of understanding of and the amazing thing, it's incredibly frustrating. I know I say this every day, but you hear the AP report it, and it's as if like they're having negotiations about, the spring coming. Like there is no context to this. No one the general public has no idea. Had the Biden administration just said, we're using the 14th Amendment, end of the story, maybe they'll still do that. The one interesting story I did see about this is that a small group of moderate Democratic lawmakers has quietly reassured its House Republican counterparts that it can help protect McCarthy's gavel if his right flank revolts over a debt agreement. This is according to two people familiar with the discussions. If conservatives responded to a McCarthy-Biden deal by forcing a full House vote on ousting the California Republican, Democrats say they have enough members to help block it, keeping him in power. We'll protect him if he does the right thing, said one of the House Democrats involved in the talks. That Democrat added that McCarthy himself has been briefed on the discussions. This is a weird thing to leak if you are one of these Democrats. This is not something you would want to do if you were trying to genuinely protect Kevin McCarthy. In fact, McCarthy spokesperson said the speaker has never heard of this garbage, has zero interest in it, and thinks Democrats would be better off focusing on the jobs they were elected to do. It is unclear to me what's going on here. My first inclination is to assume that Biden is going to cave and agree to some type of more or less sequestration where you put caps across the board for a year or two. But this leak in Politico, and whenever you read something in Politico, I've said this many times before, you really need to read two things. You need to read what's written, and then you need to read why, which is not written anywhere, but why you know this information. Why are we reading this? If you were a House Democrat, you know how sensitive it would be for McCarthy to be dealing with Democrats to get around the people who put him in power. If you wanted to stir some stuff, this is what you would do. This would not be protecting Kevin McCarthy to leak this. Because the only people who are going to read this is not the general public. This is just going to be read by Matt Gaetz. And so maybe this makes it almost impossible for McCarthy to make a deal. Remember, the reason why we didn't get cuts to Social Security during the Obama administration was not because Obama was trying to not cut Social Security. He was trying to cut Social Security with Joe Biden's help. This is in the first term. But the Freedom Caucus wouldn't, or the Tea Party, whatever they were calling themselves at the time, Tea Free Caucus Party, they wouldn't accept the deal. And so it's conceivable what's going on here is that Joe Biden is like doing the same thing. We're going to offer all these concessions and they still wouldn't take it. And then we have to do the 14th Amendment. Maybe that is me just, I don't know. wishful thinking, and it probably is. If I had to bet, it's more he's just going to cave on these things. But I guess we'll see. That's why somebody paid $500,000 for George Santos to get out on bail. I wonder who it was.
They can't lose a single vote. They need that guy.
I guess
Unless they want to institute proxy voting from jail.
Puppy owners across the country helping out George Santos.